So, Colt is in the driver's side of this company vehicle, which I assume is just a pickup truck of some sort.
Pickup truck, yeah.
Wendell, I assume, is in the back again. And BJ, who is trying to catch his breath, still gargling with some of the canteen, is in the passenger seat.
In my canteen.
Yeah, as we're driving down, heading back toward...
windows up, driving safely.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got the windows up. I'm out here in the back, and I'm, like, scoping out the fog and chitterer situation as we're driving by.
So you guys are driving north or south?
We're driving, I think it would be...
I was driving back the way we came.
Yeah, so we'd be going back north, right?
Yep, so you're keeping an eye out, listening as best you can with the windows up. And you're keeping an eye out for chitterers, Wendell?
Yeah, because you said I'm in the back, right?
Yeah, you are.
You talking back at the cab or, like, in the back?
Oh, you can do either. And actually, if you're in the back of the... Are you in the back of the cab or are you in the back of the bed?
Oh, I was thinking it was just, like, that there wasn't a back of the cab and I was just, like, in the truck bed.
Oh,
it's probably not comfy.
Cab back.
Yeah, it's probably not comfy, but there is a cab back, you know, like a small third.
Oh, yeah, I squeeze in the back of the cab then.
Out with the toxins.
And you guys have closed off the windows. There's a little sliding window from the bed of the truck that I assume you guys, that Wendell closes. I mean, unless you're trying to get more information, then I think you're just keeping an eye out, and it doesn't require a roll. So, yeah, I would say you guys are just now humming along north the way you came. Yeah. And it's a one-way road. There's a couple, like, small lanes off where there are other logging quadrants. Nowhere, I think the other group of people, not that Booth would know this, are on pretty much the other side of Hilltop at the moment. Yeah, and it's a pretty uneventful ride back. And I will say, actually, that did take, like, perhaps an hour and a half if you guys were really... If it wasn't... Everything wasn't just happening boom, 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 one after the other.
Yeah.
But you were literally doing your job and checking, which I think you were.
Yeah,
so,
no, it was more gradual for sure. Like, because we were actually checking the things out.
You're coming up on like 11:15 a.m. riding back into Hilltop offices. Yeah. What do you do?
Hey, BJ, how you feeling? You need some more water? Like, I think we should definitely head inside for a minute, and you know we can really reevaluate and see where we want to go check next. But
sure, I think he does have some voice back, and he's like breathing a lot more regularly, but you can tell like he's worried about setting off another sort of almost asthma attack, where if he does need to breathe deeply, he won't be able to. So he's like, yeah, I'm good. I think fifth grade. I might have to go home for the day. I can't really catch my breath, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, hey, man, you do what you need to do. Like,
BJ,
your health is more important.
But is there someone at your house that can take care of you in case you have another one of these attacks, since we don't really know what we're dealing with?
I mean...
Because it doesn't sound like your dad can help you too much.
My dad's nurse comes at 3, so I should be fine. She makes lunch and stuff.
How long does she stay around?
Yeah, till 8 or so. She makes lunch and dinner. So, I'll be fine.
Why don't you let her know what's going on? Maybe she can help you out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, she might have to come pick me up. Oh God, this sucks. This really fucking sucks, guys.
I was gonna say, why don't you stay in the main office?
Yeah, you take it easy, man.
I will, and I think he does. You know, going forward, whatever you guys end up doing, I think maybe you help him inside.
Yeah,
sit him
definitely.
down, get him a tall glass of water, and call the nurse. Yeah, he gives you a number, you know, to call the nurse, and she's somebody. I'm sure you like know her. It's not a large town.
Do I now have the number of this nurse?
You have Karen's number now?
You have Brunhilde's... Yeah, it's Karen. Her name is Karen. That's canon.
Hello.
Karen Cannon.
Karen Cannon is her name.
I think you're able to, like, get her to come, you know, swing by in the next hour or so to pick him up, to drive him to the house. So, mission accomplished. I'm not going to make you, like, roll to manipulate.
Yeah, she's a nurse.
What if I want to roll to... I'm just
That's
kidding.
fine.
If you want something else, you might have to roll to manipulate. But I think for her, it's just like going to work early.
Yeah.
You know?
Cool.
Yeah. And what do you do?
So I imagine that, like, in the main kind of conference space, there's a large map of Hilltop similar to the one that we have, with all the marked areas and everything on a cork board kind of deal.
Yeah, it's the one that I sent you. It's the
Yeah. So it's pretty much what we're looking at, and by this time, listeners, we will have posted this, so you know what we're talking about.
My beautiful Excel spreadsheet map.
His very good Excel. Well, yeah. So they know.
Maybe we could overlay it because I do have a hilltop map. Anyway, yeah.
But going and looking at that, it's like, all right. So if we were over here and kind of pointing at this sea area, that's where we were at. And so could I tell if it like was still pretty foggy, musky, like as we were driving back up? Because I don't see on the map where fog looks like there was rot and such.
What all the red things are cases that over the last couple of days they have, picked up rot. You don't know when and where, but you don't know when, but you know that every single red cell on that is a quadrant that has been sent to and come back with dry rotted trees.
Right. Yeah. But so between Hilltop HQ and Road C, since going north from where we were at, there's like not any of those red spots. Could I tell what if there like seemed to be the fog in those same places as we were going by, and like what
if there was fog, it was less. Okay. I think there is a sort of just general permeation of the air around Hilltop, like the overall forest that this is a part of, but not specifically where you guys were driving from. And you didn't specifically see any chitterers visually, on the way north of there.
Looking around, do I see any of the other workers here back at the main area?
Give me an investigative mystery if you're going to be seeing who's here and who's not.
What do I add to this?
Sharp.
5 and a 3, so that is an 8.
You can ask one question. I'm going to say you don't see other workers.
Well, I have an idea of where they went. I don't really want to ask.
Yeah.
So, can I just ask you something, since I don't really know that matches with any of these questions?
Sure. They're very much like contextual. So some things might.
I'm more or less just trying to get a feel of like if since I'm not seeing anybody, I was trying to get a sense of like, has anyone else come back because of issues? So my idea is kind of along the lines of, is anyone out there in trouble? Which I can't tell, you know what I mean, if anyone's in trouble right now. So I'm trying to figure out what that question...
There is a question, what has happened here? Right? That is a question you can ask me.
Right.
As a part of Investigate a Mystery.
Okay.
So...
Like, to me, though, if I was going to say, and this may just be me reading into the question incorrectly, is like, if I was going to ask what happened here, since we're in the heart of the camp, I just know people left to go to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say that there is, there's like a big hanging peg system on the wall, right, where people have their like a harness, a safety harness that, with the reflective lights that you have to wear while you're doing your lumberjacking shit. Yeah. And also some ear protection. And there are named pegs, right? So the people that the pegs that are taken are Sherman and Stevens, Akers, and BJ. Whereas Bruce, I had the... You ask me now after I put away that thing.
No. I don't need to know everyone's names. I'm
sure.
I'm more concerned with who else is out in this.
There are 3 workers who did not come to work today at all because all of their stuff is hanging up. Their safety harness and their ear protection.
Cool.
So
I'm gonna grab. I get what you're saying. I think. I think, I'm just going to take one of their safety harnesses.
Yeah.
One of the people that wasn't there.
Mm-hmm. It's literally like a reflective, it's like what a construction worker would wear.
Yeah, I'm just grabbing it for an extra.
You got it.
Yeah. And the 3 guys that aren't there, they were at work before this past weekend.
Yeah, you saw them last week.
All right. With that, I look at Colt and I'm like, oh, hold on just a second. I'm gonna see what the deal is with what's going on with these guys.
You know, that's Bruce, Paul, and Ricky.
Yeah, Bruce, Paul, and Ricky. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check in with Kenneth, so I'm gonna go knock on the door to his office.
You do, and you immediately hear like a sort of resulting snore.
Son of a bitch. I just go in.
You do, and he's still asleep, feet up on the desk, magazine over his head, over his face.
Hey, Kenneth.
What?
Hey.
Did I say you could come in here, Wendell?
Well, you were asleep on the job, and I had a question for you as the manager of Hilltop, so I, figured I might as well just come in.
Watch your mouth. I was resting my eyes. What do you want?
What happened to Bruce, Paul, and Ricky? We were out, and BJ got up in some of this orange fog shit, and he's having a coughing fit. I don't know.
Were you sick yesterday, too? Were you drinking at Dino's? What are you... everybody's calling in sick on me at the same time. I'm not getting any damn work done.
Look, I told you yesterday that it was my mom that stuff was going on. Look, that's not important. Look, what's happened with the guys? This coffin business. Are they out today because of this whole fog shit? What's going on, Kenneth?
This might be manipulate somebody, because I don't know if he's in like a position to like spit information at you, but I think, yeah, go for it. So plus charm. Does that sound about right to you? I'm trying to remember the language of manipulate somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense because like I'm trying to get some out of him. Yeah.
And he's an asshole, so it's difficult to like get him to do anything.
Yeah, to cooperate because he sucks. It's going to be a 7.
Great. So mixed success. You get to ask one of those things, or he tells you, but there's a catch.
Okay.
So he's like, yeah, they called out sick. They were complaining about this cough. It's no big fucking deal. What? Are you gonna try to get out of work today too? Where's BJ? Are you guys back already?
Yeah, we're back already because BJ had a big ass coughing fit because of this fungus or whatever the hell it is. So we brought him back. He could barely stand.
He sort of stands up and looks past you, and he's like, God damn it. God, what? God damn it. And he sort of sits back at his desk.
Yeah, that quadrant we were over in is fucked, so, we can mark that one off, too.
And he actually has, he writes it down in his notebook, that the G quadrant that he sent you to is fucked. He throws it on his desk and looks at you, he's like, can I help you with anything else?
Yeah, look, do we have any, like, masks or anything around for dealing with any kind of fungus type shit? Or, because, like, if not, we need them. I'm willing to go back out there. Like, I'm here to work today, Kenneth, but I just want to make sure that I'm not going to cough my fucking lungs out.
I think that actually does get through to him. He's like, yeah, okay. Look, go check the storage shed. There should be some sort of PPE or something like that. I'm going to send you down a D quadrant if you don't mind. Is that the deputy? What's he doing? Yeah. How you doing, Officer Booth? And his demeanor completely changes, and he's like, "Hey, officer, how are you doing today? What do I owe this honor?"
I'm doing great. I came in to check on Wendell. There's been some bears.
You heard about the thing in the store yesterday?
Oh yes, I did hear about the bear.
Yeah,
at the store,
Wendell here was a big town hero. He helped save the day out there.
It's just like him.
I know it is.
But yeah, Kenneth tells you that you could check the storage shed for some personal protective equipment. Gives you another quadrant to check out.
All right, where is this one on the map?
So this one is Road B. I would think actually right where it says Road B.
Okay, right there,
right around there. Yeah, that's D15.
Which I know to be where more of the chittering was. Where
you
that
do
sound
know
was
that.
coming from. Yeah, cool. All right.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. Road A.
Road A? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So even further west.
Yeah, right below where it says Road A.
Yeah, and as a reference, where were Sherman and Stevens?
They were heading actually out the access road before it gets to the river.
Okay, before we hit the river.
Yeah, before you hit the river and a little bit south.
So before I go to check storage, I'll just tell Kenneth, we called BJ's dad's nurse, so she's going to come out here and pick him up, and he's just going to be here.
Sorry, Kenneth. I just got really lightheaded. I had to sit down. I'll be in tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I don't think Kenneth even responds. He's just like, all right. Shit. Everybody has BJ's voice now. Joe just has a scratchy voice. Kenneth says, yeah, I hope so. Anyway, yeah, feel better, BJ, and you're welcome to hang out, obviously, until your nurse comes. And he says, if you don't mind, I'm going to go make some calls, and heads back into his office, closing the door.
I just mouth to Colt, like after the door is closed, I mouth to Colt and do the air quotes, make some calls. And just kind of nod and head over toward the storage area.
BJ just shoots 2 massive birds into the air at the closed door, sits back down and drinks his glass of water.
As we make our way out, I'm just going to lean over to BJ real fast, and you think about that bug now, all right? I can get you guys one.
I'm just gonna head out the door.
To his credit, he's really considering it.
There you go.
Toppling the establishment, one Colt booth at a time.
One cold booth at a time. Aren't you supposed to protect capital interests like Kenneth? Yeah, so you guys head out to the storage shed, which is much better, well maintained, I think, than the simple matter of where people socially hang out at the work.
It's definitely better maintained because Kenneth doesn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, I think he does, but he values people less than he values the equipment. Yeah, I actually think Sherman might be, when he's not actually out logging, is in charge of like inventorying and keeping track of what chainsaws need repair, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's been here longer than just about anybody. So,
by the way, I'm not saying this should be the case, but if you're thinking about the chainsaws as a weapon, 3 harm, close, messy.
Well, it's
loud.
Good to know.
Yeah, 3 harm, close, messy, obvious is what it's called.
3 harm, close, messy, obvious. Very good. Very nice. A very good chainsaw. All right, excellent.
It also there's not a tag for it, but it runs on gasoline, so FYI.
Cool.
So you head on over to the storage facility, I assume.
Yes.
Unless anybody else wanted to, yeah. And because of this good organization that Sherman puts into it, as one of the older employees at Hilltop, remembering how he did things under your father, he has very meticulously sort of labeled where things are, and you guys are able, without too much more fuss, to find basically, they're almost like gas masks, but it's specifically for help me out. What is this thing? I have a picture of it in my head.
Well, I mean, I think you're very on track with gas mask. Like, if you're cutting into, a tree and it's got any kind of rot or fungus.
Oh, are you talking about rebreathers? Where
no,
it's kind of just...
Not quite. It's mostly like a gas mask, but it's specifically for particulate
sawdust.
matter. Exactly, particulate sawdust.
Yeah.
Rather than a gas.
Rather than
particles, dust particles, sawdust, whatever.
What am I?
Welcome to Newridge, the podcast where we talk about tubing and masks and just the specifics of them.
See, this is what happens when we have real life equipment that we have to know about and deal with, rather than here's my very nice sword.
Here's this special kind of tube. Yeah, there's no player's handbook for life.
Oh yeah. Okay. Andrew's got this image pulled up. He's gonna send it to the chat of this respirational mask.
It's just like a respiration mask.
Sure. I'm sure we're thinking of the same. Yeah. Okay.
That's.
See, it's just very. You know what? They probably have something like that back in the day. It's only 1979. Jimmy Carter's president. So yeah,
he probably invented it.
He did. I remember that.
I remember that. That's exactly what Jimmy did.
This is from the 70s right here.
Okay, then yeah.
No. This one he sent it right now.
Not what I posted.
This
one right here is from the 70s.
Whoa. Okay. Here's the thing though. That's more of a hazmat type thing. That's the shit that you wear if you're in Cloverfield. But whatever. You have some appropriately 1970s version of that equipment where it would not be space age technology or super expensive for a small town logging operation. Yeah. You have them.
That makes sense.
I would just my whole thing with it is I was assuming they would have something in case there was forest fire.
Absolutely, yeah, and also for their intended usage, which is sawdust. So you guys got a couple. You guys got 2 of those.
Sweet.
With some extra filters if you need them. So you guys have your new space age masks that we did not talk about for too long.
No, we definitely didn't send pictures back and forth in the chat about them.
Yep. So,
but we have those.
Yes, you have them with your real hands that actually exist in the world.
Our very real hands.
Yeah.
Colt's hands.
What do you do?
Real.
So we'll head down to because it's about what time now? Like 11:30 maybe.
Yeah, but well, I would think by the time like you had all these conversations and made sure that BJ was going to be okay, we'll say it's like 12:30.
Side note: is there anything else in the shed?
You can take a look. I'm not going to like.
Yeah,
what are you looking for?
Inventory the shed. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I was more thinking just like along the lines of like tools that might be in the shed.
So what specifically?
Here's
Here's the
that's
thing.
what I
If
was
you're
thinking
looking
about.
for lumberjack tools, you're in luck.
Yeah, no. Is there any form of like hard hat?
Yeah.
We got hard hats.
Yeah.
Colt's grabbing a hard hat too.
You guys. Well, so okay, this is interesting. I don't think that counts as armor.
I'm just grabbing it.
Yeah, you got it. Your head is protected from things that might fall on it, but not too hard.
There's trees that are dead everywhere.
You're very correct. You're very correct. And you have this also in your real hands, because Colt does have real hands.
They're prosthetic.
I'm just going to put my foot down.
These hands are real.
I know you're making a character choice, but real hands.
All right.
Cool.
I'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll go and check this one out before the lunch break. Just because starting at 9, go a little later. Yeah, we'll head down there to.
I say we check on your friends first.
On the other guys.
Yep.
That's probably not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, we're gonna drive down to where the quadrant that they were and just kind of check
access
in.
road.
And I'd like to
down
take
the access road.
I'd like to take my truck with all the stuff in it.
Yeah.
And also, I'd like to grab the Molotov cocktail out of the back of the other truck.
I was wondering if you'd remember.
Yeah,
it is not broken. It is rattling around in the back of the truck. Maybe a little bit of whiskey spilled out through the cloth, but it's not broken and it's still full mostly. So you recollect your Molotov that is in the back of that truck.
Yeah, great. So I'll lead in the company truck and then with Colt behind.
So you guys, you don't have to drive too long along the access road, the northernmost road that takes you along the breadth of Hilltop Logging Company's zoned areas. You don't have to go too long before you arrive at the specific quadrant before the river. Sure enough, you find Sherman and Stevens there, and they've actually pulled a couple trees and have done some preliminary lumberjacking, I suppose, where they've brought them down, have gone back to HQ for a larger truck with the sort of claw to then load trees up. They have found trees that are not necessarily dry rotted, and they're just working.
You guys lucked out.
Yeah, this is my character voice. No,
Sherman, the old man.
Yeah, Sherman is an old man. He's like, yeah, not too bad. It got a little bit lucky. Stevens here was thinking we might have to go to the old growth, and I told him to stop being such a knucklehead because,
Yeah, I mean, no, we absolutely don't do that shit. Hey, look, y'all can get back to the shit you were doing. We're just coming out here because me and BJ were over on Road C, where we were, where Kenneth sent us out, and man, more of that orange shit was all around, and BJ got pretty sick, and so just want to make sure you guys were doing all right over here.
Thanks for checking up on us. I think we're doing okay. Seems like this quadrant isn't as bad as it was. I think it's the part of the fungus. And Stevens calls over and says, "Yeah, over in D, it was real bad yesterday. Here, not so bad." And you see that they're not actually they're not wearing their handkerchiefs over their face.
Yeah.
And the air is much clearer over here.
Listen, if you guys are going back out there, or this ends, you get to go back to HQ for a little bit, you probably ought to grab some respirators because it really got BJ.
Yeah, it got thick out there. I mean, I don't know if y'all have seen any of this shit, but it was pretty rough. So we've got some just to be on the safe side.
Yes, sir. Thanks, officer. Says Sherman and Stevens respectively.
And with that, we will head down to this other spot.
Okay. You're not even going to need to keep track of where chitterers are actively. Because even with the windows closed, while you're heading down, the noise is just getting cacophonous. Obviously, Booth doesn't hear it.
Meanwhile, I'm just chilling to my radio.
As you're driving down Road A, Wendell, they are legion. They're everywhere. Left, right. But again, the largest concentration of the noises, and you are definitely seeing them flittering through the trees back and forth. Every once in a while, you'll see one stick their long silver proboscis into a tree and pull it out, and something will drip from the proboscis before it will flit to another branch.
Oh, shit. That's the first time I've actually seen them do anything to trees.
Yep. And you see a couple of them actually skittering off of the road in time for Colt to drive by untouched by these guys. Oh, are you guys going together, by the way, or in other cars?
You were taking...
Yeah, I'm in the company truck still.
Yeah, he's in the company truck ahead of me, but I'm sticking, like, right on his tail so that if he's driving around stuff or swerving, I'm, like, following him.
He doesn't have to do too much, like, actual avoidance, but there are chitterers among the trees, on the road, and again, Wendell, as you get farther south of where you know the last couple cases of dry rot have been, towards where it actually literally says Road A on your map, it's so loud, and it's coming from the old growth section over yonder towards the deeper, darker parts of the woods.
It's coming from the old.
It's coming
growth
west, from the west and south.
Okay.
That is the extent of your directional knowledge, because it is all around. It's just overwhelmingly loud that way. And as you pass the multiple sort of access roads that lead off to different quadrants, different cells, you finally arrive at yours, Road A. It is swarming. The actual place where Kenneth asked you to go is just huge clouds of this orange stuff that sort of hangs in between the trees, like a fog that will not be blown away and will not be dissipated. And you roll up, and the chitterers almost don't even notice you as they continue about their awful business. What do you do? Now I'm coughing.
Oh man, the fog got you. I'm gonna stop the truck and like throw on the hazards and like motion for Colt to pull up next to me.
I do.
And then I'm gonna roll my right window down and like yell, probably too loud because overcompensating for what I'm hearing. Hey man, I think we need to take an early lunch break because these fuckers are everywhere. And it's coming from the old growth.
As you say this, this haze almost like lazily, I don't want to say pours in, but you immediately begin feeling the effects of your uncovered face and the air.
Yeah, that mask on.
Mask right on.
Yeah, mask on.
Just a little tickle in your throat before you put the mask back on. Even then, the bitter, acrid smell is really off-putting. But you do shout this to Colt, who also, I assume, if he has his windows down...
Before I roll that shit down, I'm putting it on. I've already been in this shit before.
So, I'm gonna pull the truck over a little more to the side of the road, just to be out of the way if anything else passes by, and actually pull around so that I am
facing north,
facing the truck, ready to go back north, so I don't have to do any turns or anything if we gotta leave quick. And so then I will get out on the driver's side, which is now the road side.
I'm going to also position my truck similarly.
Great. So you've positioned your trucks.
Because Wendell's acting
You've positioned
weird.
your trucks for a quick escape, it seems.
Yes. I'll head over to Colt's truck and kind of get our shit together as far as like the axe and make sure we got the torch and the Molotovs and everything. Well, shit. I mean, we going in there. I mean, so into the old growth, are there any of these like side roads and stuff where we could get in?
The one that is most directly plunging into the old growth, which actually is on your map as a closed road, not the one that I sent you, but like the one that you just have at Hilltop. It's unnamed. Mm-hmm. It was back when the zoning was a little more loose, and Hilltop Kenneth specifically thought they might get a little bit luckier. Fuck them. But there is a road, drivable, plunging deeper into the old growth, but it is not maintained, as it is not a part that is actually used by the logging company today. And the sound emanating as the trees sort of get a little bit taller and darker, and the haze gets a little bit more orange against the green, it's this almost tunnel. That way lieth chitterers.
Can I read a bad situation
Please.
again? Roll good. Well, that's really good. That's not good, though. Bastard. And that's sharp. So that's 7.
Ask your question.
What's my best way in?
To the old growth?
Because Wendell's asking about going into this undergrowth,
Yeah.
correct?
Your best way in is
So, yeah.
down.
My thought is like what the best way into this.
So
I know it doesn't help me much because I can't see shit.
I would
but
say that this specific road is your best way in if what you are trying to do is get into the old growth part of the woods. But you also know that this orange particulate stuff in the air is very thick down this disused road that plunges deeper into the old growth. That's what you, Colt, see.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Look, I know it looks pretty thick in there. I mean, shit. I mean, the road's really shitty, but we could go back in there in a truck. I mean, we can take a company truck. Yours has already gotten dinged up from this shit, and like that, you know, that's not your problem. We can take a company car, and you know, we'll drive it back in there. We'll just move our shit over into the back of that one, and we can go back in there and see if we can cut whatever this is off at the head. I mean, shit. It'd also be another layer of protection against the fucking shitterers if we've got car between us and them.
That's pretty true. It's as good a plan as any. I'm just gonna start taking stuff from my truck and putting it in the company truck that we're in.
Yeah. You want to drive, or you want me to drive?
I got it. Why don't you, since you can see all the shit,
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out.
you keep an eye out.
Yeah. So we'll do that. I'll, you know, if there's any kind of barriers blocking off that old road.
I think there's a rusted old gate.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So I'll open that up so that we can get the truck through and everything.
Can I tell you? It creaks very ominously.
Good, and I expect that to be a sound effect in the final
Maybe,
cut.
if I'm feeling frisky.
Way to ruin it.
But yeah, so I will. I'll open that up and hop in the truck and let's get to it.
What are you doing, driver?
Taking it real slow. That way Wendell can, you know, be like, hey, there's something in the middle of the road and I can stop, or like, you know what I mean? But just making slow, steady progress. And trying my hard darndest to see these things.
As you get about 10 or 15 feet in, two things happen. The orange matter, whatever it is in the air, the fog, becomes so thick you almost can't see out of the windshield. And you can actually see that there are little particulate things building up on the glass itself that a wipe with the windshield wipers removes but then gets replaced. And as soon as the orange gets almost too much for you to even see where your headlights are illuminating under the darker, taller pines in this part of the forest, 4 huge thumps as 4 large things immediately land, and you begin to hear a skittering noise of claws on metal.
Ah, shit.
Is it like above
There's
us?
2 above,
or...
and as far as you can tell, 1 or 2 in front of you. But it was 4 distinct thumps of something on metal.
Yeah.
And Wendell, you see 2 chitterers on the hood, skittering around.
And we're in the thickness right now.
The noise, the chittering is just everywhere.
All right, we got 2 on the hood. It looks like we got 2 on top, but oh shit, man.
I slow down just enough to reach back behind me and grab one of the torches and light it, and I roll down the driver window and stick the torch out of it.
So you do. You light this oil-soaked torch, and it begins to emit like this horrible black tarry smoke that you quickly then shove out you lower and shove out the driver's side window, and the smell of the burning oil and the orange particulate matter mixing and burning in the air almost makes you retch as it fills the car. This orange haze is just let into the car through the window. You don't see anything, Booth, but the 2 chitterers on the front of the hood immediately fly off the other side, leaping away from this fire that you have brought. And Wendell, the noise changes from chittering to almost a dull, low roar as the response from thousands and thousands of chitterers to the fire being introduced into this area has this immediate effect. The anger, if there was emotion in the sound of a cicada, of a chitterer of some sort, then it would be rage that is rumbling up from the forest around you. As this all happens, a giant, long, silver proboscis pierces through the top of the cab and narrowly misses you, Wendell, with just a little bit of that acid goop rolling out of the tip of it, and you hear the
Do I see a hole
as what
that get poked
is
in the
literally
ceiling?
like a railroad spike being driven through the cab of the car. You don't see the actual proboscis, but you see the hole, like almost like a gunshot, through the top as this proboscis slams down between you and Wendell. What do you do?
I want to use the big whammy, and I want to rip that thing's proboscis off of its body.
Great. Roll plus weird, and tell me the language of the big whammy again.
You can use unknowable powers to kick some ass. Roll plus weird instead of plus tough. It has 2 harm, close, obvious, ignore armor. And that is a 13, my dude.
Tell me what it looks like as you... I assume somehow the shadow motif is brought in, but what are you doing? Because you're trying to grab it and rip it off?
Yeah, I grab it and just break it off. Right there at the top where it came in.
As you grab nothingness with, I'm assuming, shadow.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. There's some of the smoky shadow coming off of the fist. Is I just immediately, without even thinking, grab this thing and just rip it off, as the best way that I know how to.
Meanwhile, I have one arm out the window, waving this fire around. I'm like, Wendell, you son of a bitch! What the fuck's happening?
You don't have any more time after that, because as this proboscis literally just gets sort of snapped cleanly, gouts of this acid stuff start pouring out into the cab. Both of you guys take 1 harm as this acid begins to eat through your clothes and start to burn your skin a little bit. It also begins to burn the upholstery of this car. What is that? I don't know. Who cares? It begins to burn the seats of the car and the
Leather?
dash. Yeah, sure. But it begins to spill out into the car through this proboscis that has just been snapped off. The shadows and the acid are all mixing, and you are both burned for 1 harm each. Ignore armor.
Try to maneuver out of the way of that and like throw that shit out the window.
The
proboscis. Yeah, I'm like, get that out. And is after I rip the proboscis off, is the acid still coming out of the top?
It's coming out of the top. That's where it came from.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I like open the door, toss the proboscis. I want to grab the chitterer and chuck it off of the top of the car.
Great. Give me an act under pressure.
Son of a bitch. I rolled a 2.
You rolled a 2. As you do, just the burns and the scalds on your hands keep you from being able to really, as you fumble with the door and try to open I assume your side of the door, the passenger side. And as you stand up to try to grab at the chitterer, it leaps deftly away. And though it is looking really bad and giving this horrible keening noise as its proboscis has been snapped, it is still on its feet. And the other one rears back a massive proboscis at you. What do you do?
I'm gonna hop back in the cab.
Act under pressure to get back in the cab.
Okay, that's plus what?
Cool.
It's a 9.
You're trying to get back inside in the car and close the door, right?
Uh-huh.
You can get back inside of the car. You do it. You're either going to get hit by this thing, rearing back with its proboscis, and then close the door, or you're going to spend the time to dodge out of the way and not be able to close the door. Do you see what I mean?
I'm going to spend the time and try to not get hit.
Okay, so you definitely just almost fake it out, just barely. It almost grazes your shoulder but doesn't draw blood or anything like that, and you get back inside the car. However, the passenger side door is still open. Booth, what are you doing?
I am going to put my foot on the pedal and let the horses go.
Deeper into the woods.
No, absolutely. But just moving with much more purpose.
Act under pressure.
That's gonna be an 11.
What's up, baby driver?
Many things bang and boom and slam, as you are driving into and around things that you cannot see. But you effortlessly keep the car on the track, driving forward at probably like 40 miles an hour as you accelerate. Just straight ahead with
Was it enough acceleration to close the door?
Because gravity?
Yeah, you just do it, so gravity still works. So yeah, Wendell, you are thrown back into your seat as the horses do their thing, and the door is shut. The window is still open, and I assume you still have like the torch out, unless you're doing something about that.
Oh no, yeah, I'm leaving the torch out. There's a little, I guess, beacon.
What do you do, adventurers? As again, it's almost as though you were descending into this horrible creature, because the sounds around you are on their own the chitterers and the sort of whines and the yipping and the ch-ch-ch-ch, but together in this frenzy with the fire as you are going and pissing off exciting new groups of chitterers as you are thundering forward into the forest. The noise is just like an ancient, horrible beast shucking off trees, picking them off and awaking from slumber. A horrible roar.
I don't hear.
That you do not hear, but Booth, we're establishing your survival instincts.
Oh yeah, no, I know that shit's bad.
It's bad. Your hair is sticking up on end.
Okay, Wendell, here's these things. And as Booth is zooming down this road deeper into the forest, Wendell looks at him. Okay, new plan. If we find this nest, we blow it the fuck up and then get back to the trailer and call for firefighters or whatever the fuck. But if we find their lair, we're blowing it the fuck up.
That was the game plan once the fire came out the window. And I guess we both laugh hesitantly.
Yeah, we do. Let's fucking do it.
Just careen into the abyss.
Yep. Let's go. Let's go into the fucking void.
You're driving for some time. If you would like to maintain this pace, give me an act under pressure.
Oh, yes. Yes. See, Poppy, see, that's a 12.
Another perfect
baby
success.
driver.
I don't want to speak poorly of Colt's skill here, because you are so methodical in this insane thing that you are doing.
I doubt it's easy.
No, yeah, you are. It's every inch of your determination and reflexes to avoid potholes. There's even like fallen branches and stuff that you are able to vault over with this increasingly beat up old Ford pickup, and you are just going deeper and deeper into the woods.
After one of the vaults, I just want to look at Wendell and be like, Kenneth's gonna be pissed.
Oh man, I don't care. You're doing some Dukes of Hazzard shit right now.
Is that a timely reference? Who knows?
Let's find out.
Booth's like, the who?
The what? What the fuck you talking about, Wendell?
Wendell's from the future.
Is this that Grateful Dead bullshit?
Hey, guess what? That just premiered earlier this year. January 26, 1979.
Wow.
That worked out.
Ooh, came right in there at the end.
Yeah, just squeaking in there.
Squeaking it in there.
Squeaking it in.
Holy shit.
That could not have been closer.
That is hilarious.
You drive.
I love that show. It was brand new.
Oh my god, dude! I mean,
love
you
this.
saw the whole first season. That's incredible. I hope they make more.
The premiere was amazing.
It's a cultural phenomenon that we're all still talking about. You drive like a bat into hell because that's where you're going. And at a certain point, Wendell, you actually hear the roar, the anger roar, almost return to the normal levels of chittering. There's still quite a bit, but most of them are behind you, and the sort of anguished, raging wail that all of the chitterers made together as you were flaming through their happy tunnel under the trees, it is letting off a little bit. Colt, you're hitting less things, but also the road itself is getting almost indistinguishable. You are very quickly approaching the end of where this access road even was supposed to go. At a certain point, you are just greeted by a huge stand of trees, a clearing, and the road ends in almost a clear little meadow, just a little natural space where you can actually look up into the sky. And Wendell, the chittering has died down somewhat.
I slam on the brakes and do that really cool thing where the truck skids.
You do. You know, with your two perfect successes, I'm not even going to make you go for a third.
Yes.
You Tokyo drift this shitty pickup, built for tough, into a perfect skittering.
I just like to imagine though that it's like
drift.
smoking.
It's it is literally smoking because apparently you're still holding a torch out the window.
That is true.
Yeah.
I want to say cosmetic damage. You have a couple zero harm burns from the oil just dripping down this shittily made shovel torch.
That is fair.
It's no harm, but it fucking hurts. You're probably not even thinking about it because of the adrenaline. You have come to this clearing where, Wendell, you cannot immediately see any chitterers.
Whoo, that was sexy driving.
Holy shit, man. I mean, holy shit.
So
Do you do that like on the reg doing cop shit or like...
No, I never get to do that shit with cops.
Fuck.
What the fuck was back there?
A shitload of shit, man.
Because there's a hole in the roof.
Yeah. So, as you can probably imagine, one of them got their long pokies through the roof of the truck, which those can pierce metal. Cool. Yeah, there were quite a few, and let me tell you, I think we pissed them the fuck off.
Well, good, because I'm pissed the fuck off, too.
Yeah, but now we're out here, and like I'm not really getting anything. Like they're back there, but this, I don't know what's different about right here, but we're not certainly in the thick of it anymore.
Well, where are we now?
You don't immediately know.
Yeah.
I was asking Wendell in the
yeah.
sense I didn't know if he would know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't think that I would necessarily know this either.
Nope. I'm gonna say you guys left the the access road as written on the map. You know, you were mostly traveling west.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I want to... So if it doesn't seem like there's any chitterers in the immediate area, I want to get out and go into this more of this meadow area and see if I can tell, like, what's different here. Like, why is the fog not in this place? Why are the chitterers not in this place? If there's any reason besides it just hasn't spread this far yet.
And I want to look at the truck.
That sounds like an investigative mystery, and that might be a read a bad situation, Colt. If you're like examining,
just examining the level of damage.
Yeah. I got a 10.
Great. Ask me 2 questions?
Yeah. What happened here? What's being concealed here?
What happened here? What's being concealed here?
Yeah. What has happened to make this spot different than the rest of this forest?
As you head out into this clearing, there is a little bit of the orange haze. No chitterers in the immediate area that you can hear. But one of the first things you notice is that there's 1 or 2 trees in this clearing. Even just a cursory look at it says that this thing has been rotted for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
This tree is whatever stage of the process, that whatever these chitterers are doing to them, this might have been among the first batch. Because, when you look at the other ones around, few sparse trees that there are, it's the same thing. They're dry as a bone. There's no immediacy to the plant life around here. And in fact, although this meadow is a little bit better lit, less claustrophobic, obviously, than the hell tunnel that you guys just passed through, the plants are dead. A lot of them, if there's any wood tissue, like the trees, like, for example, larger bushes or whatever, have that same dry rot throughout their tissue. And a lot of the green is gone. And it looks more just like a gray that once was green. It has a almost waxy, dead look to them. As you walk a little bit farther along the way that you came, not knowing exactly what direction you approached this place from, but knowing it was at least vaguely west, you begin to hear running water. And sure enough, as you poke your head around a ridge not far from the clearing, you see the river, the stream that is delineated on your map. You don't see enough of it to know exactly where on the stream you are. Colt, you're reading a bad situation.
Yes. Yes, and I got a 9.
You can ask one question about the car.
Are there any dangers I haven't noticed about the car? Like, I guess if there's anything wrong with it that's not, like, super obvious.
I will tell you this. There's still a pool of acid on the top of the car, but it is not going through the metal of the car. If anything, it's smudging and eating away at the paint, but it seems like it is completely unable to eat and sizzle through the metal of the chassis itself. The actual puncture is leaking acid still, just in little drips and drabs, and as soon as it drips through this bullet hole in the top of the car, where the proboscis came through, that acid is beginning to eat through the more organic material of the car upholstery and the carpeting. Did that answer? Is there a danger?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a danger in the car itself.
It was a good deal. I'm happy.
And the car runs, if that's not clear. Like, nothing like went through like the engine or anything like that.
I just wanted to check, like, make sure there's not, like, a chitterer up under the wheel caps or something that's, like, I know I wouldn't be able to see it, but...
I will also say, wow, this car is still running, but holy shit, you just took it basically off-road. There's clearly dents and smashes where, like, either a log or a chitterer was that you just bull-rushed through, keeping your eyes on the road and keeping everything on course, but the car itself looks beat to hell.
I just pat the hood of the car and I'm like, you remind me of a girl I used to know. And then I guess I'm going to smoke a cigarette.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to episode 7 of Newridge. If you're enjoying this side quest of ours, please make sure to rate, review, and subscribe to The Quest Company on iTunes, or let us know directly. You can find us on social media at The Quest Company and at our website, questcompanypodcast.com. As always, I would like to thank Joe Leitess for editing Newridge, as well as the artists whose wonderful music we use in these episodes. Thank you, as always, to tabletopaudio.com for the tracks Forests at Night and Spire the Hatchery, as well as Steve Combs for the song Hold Music, Komiku for the songs Fight, Run, Breathe Deeply, and Friends Theme, and Jason Shaw for the song Night Rave. You can find more of their music on freemusicarchive.org. We also had additional sound design this episode by Henri Vartio. You can find more of his work on freesound.org. That's all for me. So we'll be seeing y'all next week when we find out what happens to our dirty boys now that they've found themselves decidedly up shit creek. That was me trying to do a Dukes of Hazzard thing. Thanks for listening to Newridge here at the Quest Company.
Papa, Lucinda. Papa, Lucinda. Papa, Lucinda. Papa, Lucinda. Papa, Lucinda.